Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. They have created a superhuman, one to lead the world. And no, it's not Donald Trump.
No, it might not be what you think.
No, but yeah, I think this was, I thought this was fun because here you have, is he a Jedi? Is he a Sith? Oh, lots of fun going on here. Patreon and also members exclusives on Patreon and on YouTube with memberships. We want to thank everybody for their support again. Gosh, we couldn't do it without you guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, look at all the glitches. Okay, this is really interesting because this was one of the things that triggered some messages Cindy picked up from certain ETs. Yeah, this is the New Jersey, the freeway lights flickering on and off. There's been a lot of things. This is Minsk, Belarus, sighted in the sky. There's going to be more and more sightings because, again, we are at a period of disclosure. It's a forced disclosure. They're going to force the hand of the control on our portion of planet Earth because, a lot of them are very impatient at this point in time. There are a lot of beings out there that don't appreciate what's been happening to humans, and they're tired of it. And apparently now some sort of treaties or agreements are no longer in effect. So, you could have a lot more direct intervention. Real ball of light UFO sightings. Are these angels? They come in and go at seemingly 90 degrees at two angles. I cannot come up with anything else this could be but angels. Well, again, that's because all you were brought up with is one book. And you don't understand that there's extraterrestrials, there's inner earth beings, there's interdimensionals, there are angelic beings, there are also demonic beings, there's life on other planets, and there's life in other dimensions. There's everything. This whole creation is all about exploration for consciousness, of which that is what we are. We are consciousness itself, having a temporary human experience. White House spokeswoman Anna Kelly told Defense Scoop in an email, stay tuned because aliens.gov has been registered. This is part of that disclosure. They don't have a choice. That's the bottom line. They don't have a choice because they're just going to show themselves more and more. And they're going to, they're going to break the paradigm. We've been living as a brainwashed society. We've been given a history that's not accurate. We've been given religious systems that are nothing but means to control and to limit our thinking of possibilities out there. How far did Nazi Germany get with their UFO program? The Wunderwaffe programs, as you could see, they you could say reverse engineered technology, but they were actually working directly with what we would call the fallen Pleiadians, which, again, Pleiadian type beings that have fallen under the control of the Draco and the Draconian AI empire, which really is the empire that Star Wars is based on. And that really is giving us a little clue as to our history. So December 29th, 1980, Betty Cash, Vicki Landrum, and Vicki's grandson, Colby Landrum, were driving home to Dayton, Texas. Then what happened next was etched in UFO encounters and lore. They all had stomach aches, they had diarrhea, they vomited, they were burned, and they lost hair. It was like they had been exposed to massive amounts of radiation. You could see, by some of these photos. This is not all that uncommon. In fact, this same thing basically happened to Cindy and I and Sassy and Zeke when Zeke was still alive at Camp Shelby. We were right going by Camp Shelby. It's a U.S. Army post, Hattiesburg, Mississippi. We were looking to actually buy property in the Hattiesburg area. And we were going by the military base, and all of a sudden we are being followed by a giant triangle, like a TR-3B. And it followed us, and it was actually irradiating us. And we believe that was intentional, totally done on purpose. Why would they do that? Because we have activated light bodies, because our pineal glands function. So we are thus a threat to the system. Now, at this point in time, another 5 years later, there's many, many, many more people with activated light bodies and pineal glands working. So too many to keep up with at this point in time. President Trump says he's ordering the government to fully release the files on aliens, extraterrestrial life, and UFOs. We'll see if they won't fully release it. That's the bottom line too. There's certain things they don't want people to know, because basically our government reports to non-human beings. That's who the shadow government is.
Who believe that not only are there extraterrestrials on Earth, but that they have built bases and that they are operating out of bases.
And also, they're telling U.S. soldiers what to do. That's the bottom line is, again, who does our military work for? It's not you and I. No, they work for non-Homo sapiens sapiens. Why do you have the spraying programs that continue when states have outlawed it? It's because they don't report to Congress. They really don't report to any of us. The military, DARPA, ultimately, that's an extension of a non-human control system. What's their job? It's to police us, to manage us. They don't work for us. They manage us. They manage everything about humanity. How about this? This I thought was really interesting. Men in Black filmed by surveillance camera, Anchorage, Alaska. The footage was taken a few years ago, been kept by Anchorage police to investigate the disappearance of the young woman you see right here in the video. She went disappearing. And only very recently the video appeared online, possibly on purpose. When you feel into the energy of this, yeah, I mean, that being feels extremely creepy. And I gotta say that I don't think it's one of us.
No, I mean, even if you think, well, that's wearing a mask, it's head shape and it's so tall. It's very, very awkward looking, and it feels awkward. It feels distorted. It doesn't carry itself like a normal person.
Can you see the energy field?
Yeah, I was just starting to look at the energy field, and it's more like there's no color, like emotion. It's more like just kind of like heat waves around it, and they're clear.
So no emotion. So
No emotion.
this is not one of us, and so you got to wonder what happened to the poor lady. Was she being taken for some sort of experimentation? Were they going to use her, DNA as some type of, program? I don't know. It's very curious. Yeah, he's obviously very tall. To me, my first impression was like it reminded me a little bit of the tall grays, because I've had a direct encounter with one leaning over me in the bedroom back in 2017, Sarasota, Florida, and it did sabotage my energy field. And I end up getting sick from red tide afterwards. And I don't think, look at that. She places the gun down. He tells her what to do. She goes over, grabs something. And I mean, it's like she's under complete mind control. People will say this is just a psyop. Maybe it's, from a movie, et cetera, et cetera. It doesn't feel that way, but the whole situation never depends on just one encounter. It's not all about just Roswell. It's not all about Betty and Barney Hill. There's been just innumerable encounters. How many people have gone missing up in Alaska? This is Anchorage, Alaska. Do you know how many people? Thousands of people go missing in the triangle, the Anchorage Triangle. I think a lot of them end up either in some sort of program. They're used for different things, different experimentations. Yeah, this is perhaps a real tie to the real control system. Again, Yeah, there's been so much fake stuff given us, but there's also been real stuff given to us too, that then we tend to shrug off and say, oh, that's just probably, plaster of Paris, or that's just plastic and rubber, et cetera, et cetera. No, again, humans, Homo sapiens sapiens, are not the original inhabitants of planet Earth. And in fact, again, planet Earth was Tiamat, which was destroyed in the Star Wars manner. Again, Star Killer base, the Death Star. Well, look up when you see the moon. That's kind of a Death Star. It's a mothership. Many people know this. Many different tribes around the world speak of this when it was brought and put in place in order to keep control of Earth and to keep us off balance, because it does affect women's menstrual cycles. It affects the water in our bodies, which affects our emotions. Yeah, we have been a species given amnesia intentionally.
They don't want us to start remembering that DNA, or they don't want us to even understand what it means to read and remember your DNA.
Which you can. I also find it weird that, here we had a lot of rain, the ground was saturated, and we have an extreme fire warning up. The reality that we find ourselves in can be a little disconcerting.
I know. I mean, that's an awfully big dog.
Yeah. I mean, it can make your eyeballs pop out. Get ready, because chances are, if you can manage to hang on and stay in this body a few more years, it might not even be that long, you yourself will probably see openly acknowledged non-Homo sapiens, maybe even communicating to the masses.
Indeed.
Much love. We welcome you to join us on Patreon and also on Members. To make an appointment, it's evolutionaryenergyarts@gmail.com. Hit the little drop down on all the videos for more information about us and all 3 channels. Source bless. Namaste.
Namaste.